first obstacle.
Yeah.
By Angel in the Snow.
Yeah, very interesting that obviously Brian Ellison does sort of a name that seems to be, I mean, he's a very good trainer, full stop, of any type of horse, but sort of juvenile hurdlers, he tends to get them ready and well schooled. So, I mean, this one was only rated high 40s on the flat. Obviously, by halved out of a Monsieur mare in time, might well prove that to be a distant memory. But
into 12s now.
Yeah, I mean, was fairly weak on debut at Musselburgh. Perhaps has done a fair bit of schooling and a bit of work in between times. I'd have expected to see him a fair bit bigger in the market.
He's not that big. Priced at 12. Started checking his watch, walking over to the rostrum. Just a minute past post time now, so shouldn't be that much longer before they walk in. And with that in mind, hopefully this isn't a hospital pass. We can get back to Malcolm.
Thank you, David. Yep. Won't be too long here. Runner's about to turn to face the starter, who's on the top of the rostrum, so we're set to go here. He's about to raise the flag, I think, getting a check of the watch. The flag is up, the runners are walking in, we're set to go. And they're off for the extra places at 188 bet juvenile hurdle race. They're heading towards the first of 9 flights of hurdles, 2 miles in front of them. Walsingham Grange, red cap, white face on the left of Fixed Rate and the black and white striped jacket, the first 2 to begin, followed through by Goodnight Percy, who's also prominent in the blue with the yellow sash, also with a big white face on the left. Over flight number 1 they go. 1 or 2 Larry jumps in behind. Quids In wasn't too fluent, a little bit slow towards the back. Angel in the Snow. They head up towards flight number 2. Fixed Rate on the right, Walsingham Grange on the left. Right behind them, Dinsdale in the purple and yellow jumped up well. Aislabie is prominent, the grey horse in the cross belts with the hooped cap, striped sleeves. On the left, Goodnight Percy. And that little group followed towards the near side by the pale blue and red of Force of Forces as they negotiate flight number 3. That will be the last in the circuit's time. Prairie Impulse is just behind the leading 6, and that one's followed through by Quids In as they head up past us for the first time. Sitting well back in the field early doors is Foible. Also well back is Cry Wolf, followed through by Carla Rules towards the inside. Joan of Arc is next, and the back marker is Angel in the Snow, and that one would be 15 lengths off the pace, which is being set by Fixed Rate as they take the turn to head towards the far side. Fixed Rate shows the ray then in front by about 3 parts of a length to, in second position, Walsingham Grange, then Aislabie tight on the inside fence. Behind the leading group of 3 races, Force of Forces, who's just making a little bit of ground towards the outside of Goodnight Percy. Dinsdale next in the field from Prairie Impulse, and that little group is followed by Quids In. A gap of maybe 7 lengths to Foible, well back from Cry Wolf and Carla Rules. A length and a half behind that towards the rear, Angel in the Snow, still well back, so too is Joan of Arc. They're right opposite the grandstands and going down towards flight number 4, and it's Fixed Rate who continues to show the way. Gets over that by a couple of lengths. Force of Forces jumped up well on the outside. Aislabie is next in the field, and still well placed Walsingham Grange between horses. Goodnight Percy behind those with Dinsdale, then Quids In. Prairie Impulse towards the inside of those, then Carla Rules, who's trying to close up a little bit as they reach the middle one down the far side of the track. Fixed Rate over in front, met it well for Brian Hughes, landed by about a half length to Walsingham Grange, who's trying to close in for Keelan Woods in second place. Force of Forces travelling pretty well, 3 deep of those. Behind that one, Aislabie towards the inside is next in the field, followed through by Dinsdale, still well placed in the purple and yellow. Quids In, nose banded, making up a little bit of ground towards the outside of runners as well. Still all to play for here as they reach the end of the backstretch. They're starting the turn towards home, and on the inside it's still Fixed Rate showing the way by a neck to Walsingham Grange racing second, 3 parts of a length back to Force of Forces. Aislabie in the cross-belted jacket from Quids In, then Dinsdale. Prairie Impulse is next. Carla Rules in the pink jacket has made ground. Angel in the Snow's made some ground from the back in the checks with a red cap as they swing the turn. Cry Wolf's behind that one from Foible. Well back in the field now, Goodnight Percy, and so too is Joan of Arc. Off the turn down the straight they come back towards the third last flight of hurdles. Fixed Rate tackled by by Walsingham Grange. Force of Forces, Quids in, coming strongly towards the near side for Will Kennedy as they get over the third last flight of hurdles. It was Force of Forces who just about landed in front, tackled by Walsingham Grange. Aislabie is starting to pick up between horses. Quids in, nose banded towards the near side, then Dinsdale. Fixed Rate is beat. They're over the second last, coming back towards the final flight of hurdles. Force of Forces in front, tackled by Quids in towards the near side. Dinsdale running a big race on debut. Far side trying to get involved. Walsingham Grange. Here's the final flight of hurdles, and gone at the final flight is Force of Forces. It's Aislabie who leads inside the final furlong. Aislabie towards the far side of Dinsdale, trying to finish off towards the near side. Aislabie pulls out a little bit more, and Aislabie will go on to score to Dinsdale in second. Walsingham Grange was third. Quids in finished fourth.
A bit to take out of that. Hopefully Force of Forces and Liam Treadwell both okay after that late tumble. Aislabie has won it. Mark Walford and Jake Greenall have trained and ridden a double, and there you can see Liam. He's grimacing, looks in a bit of discomfort, but walking around with his hat in his left hand, and the horse looks none the worse. So that's the first bit of good news. Aislabie was going well. There was quite a bit of argy-bargy in between 3 out and 2 out.
There was. In some respects, it might not have done Aislabie that much damage, other than superficially, maybe, because it just allowed Jake Greenall to bide his time that little bit longer and delay his challenge, which has probably allowed him to...
between 2 out and the last, I should say, after 2 out.
Yeah. I mean, it opens up again fine, doesn't it? It maybe just concentrates the mind of the horse, and actually, to his credit, he sort of forges his way through the gap, which... You know, for a juvenile hurdler, a lot of horses might have been slightly put aback by that little bit of scrimmaging, but he's stuck his neck down and gone through the gap, and then seen off the challenge of Dinsdale. Notable, Walsingham Grange has run his race again in third.
Well, he's I loathe the term of marker horses, but it's hard to imagine that he hasn't run his race.
Yeah,
like he has on his previous 2 goes over hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. Notable debut from Quids in. Obviously, him and Force of Forces were the 2 debutants in amongst the 5 going clear at the last. Obviously, Force of Forces hopefully is none the worse for his fall.
Let's hope so. Quids in 4th place, but Aislabie the winner at 9-2 doubles for Jake Greenall and Mark Walford after Craganock in the first. Dinsdale second at 11-1, Walsingham Grange third at 100-30. Fixed Rate the unplaced 9-4 favourite, and all 13 ran.
Why would I ever use this lengthen the odds thing? Well, I could tell you, but better that a professor of probability explains it for me.
Probability and form suggest that the favourite will win, and because it's so likely to happen, the odds aren't very exciting. But with Bet Victor, I can predict how many lengths it's going to win by, and increase the